Hello everybody, konnichiwa. Quick question. Do you like Japanese beer? I do. You probably seen one particular kind that has interesting label. Looks very Japanese with special creature on it. Kirin. Actually, I don't want to talk about beer and how much I like it, but about this creature. What is it? A kind of dragon? We Japanese love it very much. Almost like alpaca or capybara. But Kirin is from Japan. Or Hangon. Is it really? If you watch this video until the end, you will know. I promise. Have you watched my video about 4 symbols and universe? Very essential for the basic philosophy of the Japanese people. You can find it either here, the link, or under here at the description. I explain about 4 creatures which represent 4 of the Chinese 5 elements. Back then, 1 creature was missing, do you remember? And this, maybe the most important one, is Kirin. It is sometimes spelled Kirin too. Oh, and please don't forget to subscribe my channel if you haven't yet. And press the ring button to get notifications. I appreciate your support to give me motivation to create more videos. Also, apart from my own Instagram, I have another account for the channel. There you can see many artworks that I use in the video with details and description. Please follow there too. Kirin is a beautiful creature, don't you agree? So graceful and elegant. Chinese legend says that body is that of a deer, with the tail of an ox and the hooves of a horse, and its face is like a dragon with a single horn. The entire coat is yellow and covered with scales, plus the hair of this back is colored in 5 different colors. Kirin are said to live for 1,000 to 300 years, and their nature is very gentle. They are so averse to killing any living being that they fear step on insects or even breaking grass under their feet, so they never put their feet down on the ground. How do they move then? Well, of course they fly. Since ancient times, the Kirin has been seen as a harbinger of good things to come, a sign of a peaceful world, a bearer of happiness, and a symbol of well-being that brings stable and peaceful days. In the old times, it was said that in times of great war, a Kirin appeared in a raging battle and stopped it right there, bringing peace and end to fighting. Benevolence. In ancient times, Kirin is said to appear as an omen to announce the arrival of a saint or king with a heart of benevolence that brings peace and wealth. One of the most heartwarming stories tells of a humble scholar who encountered a Kirin deep within the forest. Recognizing the scholar's pure heart and wisdom, the Kirin imparted ancient knowledge and granted the scholar unparalleled wisdom. This encounter forever changed the course of the scholar's life, and he went on to become a respected philosopher, sharing the wisdom bestowed upon him by the Kirin. Doesn't this remind you another mystical creature too? Unicorns. They are said to be roaming in magical forests and only allowing contact with the purest souls. Unicorn might seem a very Western concept now because of the movies, but their origin can be tracked back to ancient Greece and even further to India. Oh, well, that's the Greek historian Ctesias stated, but the truth is he never been to India. So, what do you think, guys? Do you think unicorn came from India or rather Greece? I'm wondering if this Kirin story also somehow connects to Confucius, a philosopher from the late spring-autumn period of China. He placed benevolence as the fundamental concept to all his teachings. Its most important element is do not do unto others what you would not wish to do unto you. Don't force others to do what you don't want to do. This means to be considerate and respectful of others, which is benevolence. During the time of Confucius, the first reports about Kirin were found, about 2,500 years ago. 4 symbols and 5th element. To understand the deeper philosophical significance of the Kirin in Japanese culture, we must explore its connection with the 4 symbols. 4 creatures represent 4 colors, 4 directions, 4 seasons. Do you remember? So let's take a look at the image from the other video that I explained about 4 symbols. Since I said that Kirin is the 5th of those symbols, where does it sit then? And what does it represent? Like a compass that shows into 4 different directions, those symbols revolve around the center. And that is precisely where the Kirin sits. Right there in the middle. The symbolic color of the Kirin is yellow, highly sacred in many Asian cultures. Each of the creatures is most closely associated with one cardinal direction and specific color, but also additionally represent one of the Chinese 5 elements. 5 elements here are wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Kirin represents earth. 4 creatures represent also seasons, and there are only 4 of those, right? How about Kirin in the middle? Japanese are very much aware of the seasons, and we pay special attention to the changing of the season as well. Doyo. We call a period of about 18 days that comes just before the first day of summer, autumn, winter, and spring, respectively. Kirin is all of those. Transitioning between the 4 cornerstones of the year, it is the link, the connecting factor, completing the annual circle. But this is only first layer of meaning. Kirin is not only yellow, but can take on other 4 colors too. So there is a Kirin representing each one of 5 colors, directions, elements, and characters. It's a little bit like Pokemon, right? Does Kirin remind you somehow of a real animal too? One you don't have in mind when you think about Japan. More like Africa, looks like horse, yellow coat with spots that looks like scales, face like dragon with horn. We know this animal and we actually call it Kirin too. Not for 2,500 years, but much less. But it might not be a coincidence. Maybe I should add really long neck. It's a giraffe. There are a few theories why they both call the same name. The theory that the name giraffe in Somali language of East Africa was given to the actual animal because of its similarity in pronunciation to the Kirin in the Southern Chinese dialect. We also know that around the year 1400 AD, a giraffe was presented to the Chinese imperial court, and people back then thought that this must be their beloved legendary Kirin. Then finally, the Japanese zoologist Chiyomatsu Ishikawa officially named the giraffe Kirin to honor the first arrival to Japan of one of those majestic and peaceful animals. Have you ever seen a giraffe in nature? I did, and they are just as wonderful as I imagined Kirin. They can't fly though. So graceful and full of peace. Funnily enough, nowadays in China, the giraffe is not called Kirin, much less romantic. It's called long-necked deer. Back to the mystical Kirin. Kirin come to us humans to announce peaceful and tranquil times for all humans to be happy. They are our true friends. But we mustn't forget that it is up to each one of us to play our part in this. Consideration for others, benevolence, and true belief in a happy future might help along a long-desired arrival of the Kirin. Do you think Kirin would arrive anytime soon to this planet? Do we deserve this even? What can we do to bring peace to you and to everybody? Looking around me, I have my doubts, but I must play my part and be happy. Maybe Kirin beer will help. I'm thirsty now. I gotta grab one now. Thank you very much for watching. Bye! またね!